Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Mahalia Joseph and C News is live at noon.
And I'm Nasira Mohammed with sport.
Topping the news at this time, the Ministry of Agriculture has confirmed there will be an immediate restriction on meat imports from Brazil. In a release on Tuesday, it was confirmed that three ministers, the Ministers of Agriculture, Trade and Industry and Health, had been monitoring the meat scandal in Brazil. In recent weeks, it has emerged that companies in Brazil had been exporting rotten meat for several years. The ministry's release stated, until further notice, the Chief Veterinary Office will issue no permit for the importation of processed meat products from Brazil. This includes corned beef and chicken nuggets, the release added. Very shortly, the public would be advised about action to be taken regarding Brazilian meat products, particularly corned beef, already in Trinidad and Tobago. Many of the well-known brands on the local market shelves originate from Brazil. Education is a key element in the fight against fraud. This is the idea stressed at the opening of the launch of the Caribbean Fraud Conference at the Normandy Hotel this morning. Jennifer Koo Rogers told the media the public must be made aware of fraudulent practices.
It is going to be a very useful seminar because we need to let the public know exactly what sort of fraud it is we're seeing out there. It is only when they see what is going on out there that they can actually mitigate it.
CARICOM representative to the conference that will be held on the 5th and 6th of June told the conference criminals tend to use their unlawful earnings to reinvest in more crime.
The aim is to collaborate to ensure that crimes and crime cases are solved, but it sweetened the deal so that to enhance collaboration among members, which is really the spirit and intent of CARICOM, and it really would also allow member states to share in the proceeds of those recovered assets and use those recovered assets to filter back into crime solving.
The Trinidad and Tobago Farmers Union, led by Shiraz Khan, says government can assist some small farmers financially so they can continue to grow or restart their business. He said he is happy Caroni Green was shut down by government as millions of dollars was wasted and it directly competed with small farmers.
Actually putting small farmers out of business for too long, these mega farms that they keep saying that they're going to do to help increase the production for processing. And they could say what they want to say because when somebody is drowning, they will snatch at straws that they were actually processing or shipping. We know for a fact it was being sold on the local market, putting small farmers out of business.
He said with the closure of Caroni Green, millions of dollars will be saved, hence his request for assistance for farmers.
We don't need that $8 billion to produce the amount of peppers that they're producing. Please make some of that money available to a number of farmers who have abandoned their land based on pepper production and went into something else. Right? Let us work with these farmers and produce a product that is very healthy so we can reduce that bill of diabetes, hypertension.
The Caribbean New Media Group is today mourning the loss of our friend and colleague Peter Posada. Peter passed away last night at his home in Urupoon, and Peter was a stalwart in the media industry, having worked at Trinidad and Tobago Television, TTT and Channel 4 before joining CNMG as a news director. He also directed live and recorded productions and was a major support for many of his colleagues whenever needed. Peter will be sorely missed. The management and staff of CNMG extend condolences to his wife Inga and their two sons. Funeral arrangements are to be announced. This is the C News Live Report at noon. Remember, you can keep up to date with all the latest news on our website at ctvtt.com, or you can check out our Facebook and Twitter pages at C News Live. A Horquetta man is expected to answer murder charges in the Arima Magistrates Court today. The TTP has confirmed that Omiku Babor, 26 of Phase 2 La Horquetta, was charged with the murder of Handel London. London was killed in front of a supermarket in La Horquetta on November 18, 2016. Aruca police were called out to assist in a less than traditional manner after a caiman found itself in the middle of the eastbound lane of the Churchill-Roosevelt Highway near Piarco on Monday. The reptile caused a little traffic and officers had to be called in to remove the animal from the road at around 9 p.m. Neither the animal nor anyone was hurt in the process. Police are still seeking the identity of a man who was found floating in the Gulf of Paria on Monday. Shortly before 11 a.m. yesterday, the body was spotted off the port of Port of Spain International Waterfront Center. Officers of the Coast Guard were called in to retrieve the body. They were able to take the body out of the water sometime around 12:15 in front of the Hyatt. It was handed over to the CID and a post-mortem will only be done after the man is identified. Here's a look at your afternoon weather with Ian Wallace.
Many areas will come under dull and damp skies today. Mostly cloudy to overcast with a scattering of showers favouring the hillsides, especially for the northern range and the main ridge. A few areas may also see a heavy burst as we go through the afternoon heating. The moisture is moving northwards from Guyana and Venezuela in the south and is set to pass over Trinidad and Tobago through today and for the first part of Wednesday. It'll feel pleasant, no higher than 31 degrees Celsius, with a mild, cloudy and damp night in places. At sea, fishfolk and boaters will meet a moderate chop offshore, Atlantic waters nearing 2.5 meters, in the Caribbean close to 2 meters, and easterly winds of 10 to 15 knots bringing some whitecaps and little spray, and northeast to easterly swells of 9 seconds. Tide is low at 5 p.m. That's the latest weather, and I'm meteorologist Ian Wallace.
Some economists are saying that government borrowing levels could be seen as reckless. They are wondering how this country is going to repay its multi-billion-dollar debt in light of falling earnings of revenue and the debt to GDP, which now stands at 62%. They believe the borrowing could result in increased taxes and devaluation. Government borrowing to GDP at this time has risen to 63% and could be cause for concern. Economist Indira Sajuan Ali explains.
Borrowing, in economics, once your debt to GDP ratio reaches over a certain point, it's cause for concern because it has implications for service turnover time. Because you borrow now, but you have to pay back into the future. So that if you are increasing the borrowing, but on the one hand, but you're not increasing your revenue, your capacity to earn revenue on the other hand, then you have a difficulty with respect to balancing in the future, balancing debt to your revenue. So how do you then service the loan?
Ms. Sajuan Ali says that government has given a clear picture of their developmental goals for the country, but she wonders if they are following through on their plans.
They have presented development financing some projects in the two budgets so far that have been read. But when you look at the landscape, it doesn't seem as if there is any implementation taking place. So to date, government seems to not be doing much from a developmental perspective, but focusing primarily on recurrent expenditure and supporting recurrent expenditure. Over time, they have accelerated this expenditure pattern, extremely high.
She says that transfers and subsidies through Make Work programs such as CPEP and URP continue to be high. However, sudden cuts would be too traumatic.
So I appreciate that the minister can't make significant cuts. I appreciate that he needs to borrow in order to maintain the level of expenditure. But my argument is simultaneously there must be a sense in the country that government is doing things to put the country back on a growth path. And that is the missing element. If it is behind the scenes, then it needs to come out in the public domain. People need to get a sense that government has our backs in the sense of they have a plan and a strategy.
Some other news now. The National Trust of Trinidad and Tobago will be hosting a photographic exhibition titled Details, a closer look at the built and natural heritage of Trinidad and Tobago in celebration of our nation's heritage. The exhibition is set to run from next Monday, March 27th to April 10th, 2017 at the Rotunda of the National Library on Hart and Abercrombie Streets, Port of Spain. This exhibition includes 137 images of sites around Trinidad and Tobago submitted by volunteer photographers in 2015. The exhibition is divided into 4 categories: 1. Heritage lost, 2. Places of worship, 3. Private residences, and 4. Public spaces. The Commonwealth Youth Council has called for the country to call for better from politicians and the populace. In a release on Tuesday, the group's vice chairperson, Nikolai Edwards, said the time to stop pointing fingers aimlessly has long ended, and we are in an era where personal responsibility must be the order of the day, he added. Our politicians and those occupying public positions of influence and authority must be held accountable, but we must not buy into the politically motivated attacks that pollute our governance systems. He explained further, we must question ourselves as to where those leading our country emerged from, as they did not appear without a history or background. We must demand more, not based on simple entitlement, but as a natural return on the hard work and dedication we invest. Parents of the Santa Rita RC School in Mayaro say a 9-year-old pupil at the school has been bullying children and teachers alike. They appealed to the Minister of Education to intervene. Peter Christopher has more.
Stop the bullying! Stop the bullying! Stop the bullying! Stop the bullying!
This was the call from parents of the Santa Rita Primary School on Monday. They claim a 9-year-old son to 2 people has become a menace.
He was abused by this boy, one handcuff to his belly. I don't know what could be the outcome of it, but I don't want it to happen again because things will happen. Right? We're doing everything legal, but I'm about to call him right now. I'm not taking it.
The parents claim that his abuse has not only been violent, and he has made advances to girls as well. Onella Mohammed said her daughter was approached by the boy, but no action was taken when she filed a complaint.
I came to the school, I made a report to the principal, and nothing came out of it. He's still coming to school, still doing the same thing, threatening, fighting the children. Some of them are scared to even look at him. They'll turn the other way and walk away when they see him coming. So he's installing fear into these children, and something needs to be done.
Another parent said the ministry did assign a special tutor to the student, but he too was assaulted by the pupil.
Ministry of Education sent a special teacher to tutor this child. Apparently I heard that he beat up the teacher. Twice, not once, twice.
She is appealing to the minister and anti-bullying agencies to intervene.
Pay us a visit and find out what it is going on with this child. Now, this child needs help. His parents need help, right? Please, we are begging, we are appealing to each and everyone who is in charge of children, child abuse and all these things. Please, Oliver, please, come and pay attention to this because it's going to get serious.
Peter Christopher, C News.
However, the Minister of Education expressed doubt that one pupil could cause so much terror at the primary school. The minister was asked about the matter on Monday.
I do not think we should go overboard. I cannot see a primary school student beating teachers. I cannot see a primary school student sexually abusing other persons. I cannot see that.
However, the Chief Education Officer Harry Lal Sitaran said the ministry was working with the student.
Of the situation, there is a process that one must go through in dealing with students. That particular student have been transferred from another school, but is currently receiving counseling and guidance from our Student Support Services Division. If we are to remove a student from the school, it will be based on their recommendation. Our information at this point is that they are working with the student. Removal at this point might be premature.
It's time to turn you over to Nasira Mohammed, who is giving us an update on what's happening on the world of sport. Nasira?
Well, the CPL tournament has a new sponsor and it's a local homegrown product. Well, tickets for the 3 T20 matches between defending ICC World Champions, the West Indies and Pakistan at the Queen's Park Oval went on sale from today, March 21st, at the TTCB's ticket office at the Oval and their main office in Couva. There is also a promotion for the first week of sales. Senior citizens are entitled to 1 free ticket while stocks last, and children under the age of 12 pay half price with the purchase of 1 adult ticket. Prices range from $250 in the CL Dupre stand to $300 in a special TTCB stand. However, patrons can purchase a season pass for all 3 games at a price of $650 and $800. The first match of the T20 series will be played in Barbados on Sunday 25th, followed by the 2nd, 3rd and 4th matches here at the Queen's Park Oval on March 30th, which is Baptist Liberation Day, April 2nd and 3rd. And that's it for sport for today.
That's how we end the C News Report at noon. I'm Mahalia Joseph.
And I'm Nasir Mohammed.
Remember, for up-to-date and breaking news throughout the day, you can visit the C News website at ctvtt.com. Have a good afternoon.